Hey, you're listening to Don't Lie to Your Life Coach podcast with Kim Arrington. I'm Kim Arrington. I'm a life coach, a weight loss coach, an author, and a badass passionate about helping you connect back to your most authentic self. Join me here each week so I can coach you on how to think all those juicy thoughts that get you feeling your absolute best and taking some big ass action. Coaching has changed my life, and it can change your life too. I'm here to give you real life solutions to create a life you'll love. Because the truth is, boo, you ain't just got problems, you got options. Hey. Clearing my throat. This is the last throat clear of 2024. It is New Year's Eve. I don't know that I've ever recorded a podcast on New Year's Eve. I know you're looking at me and being like, why does she look like a glazed donut? Well, I look like a glazed donut because I have been crazy about my skincare. My skin has done a 180, and we're taking that into the new year. And because I'm recording this so early, nothing has absorbed yet. So you're getting the glazed donut. Hey, people want this look. We are going to talk about today why you need to throw out your New Year's resolutions. You need to take Coach Kim's advice and get a New Year's anchor. We don't even have to call them New Year's anchors. Let's just say an anchor list. So this podcast is for you. If you're tired of making New Year's resolutions that fizzle out by February, probably by January 22nd. If you crave something deeper and more sustainable than fleeting goals, if you want to feel grounded and steady, no matter what the year throws your way, and this podcast is for you if you're ready to ditch the pressure to reinvent yourself and instead focus on anchoring yourself. This podcast is for you if you felt lost in the chaos of last year, you're ready to start anew. I love New Year's. I love this feeling of today. It's like this little nervous butterfly feeling in my stomach of everything is possible. That's okay if you don't feel that way. I love New Year's, okay? So this podcast is for you if you feel lost in the chaos of goal setting culture and you just want to stay connected to yourself and what really matters to you. This podcast is for you if you're curious about creating a practice that centers your value and your values and keeps you aligned all year long. So let me give y'all some stats on New Year's resolutions. One of the things I have loved about 2024 is my relentless, ruthless support of myself, no matter what is happening. I have centered myself in a way I never have, and I'm going to talk to you all about it in 2025. I'm going to talk to you about we're not decentering people. We are centering ourselves. When we center ourselves, we don't even need protection because centering ourselves is the protection, okay? And it feels good and it feels mighty. I was in the shower, minding my shower business, using my coconut shower cream, and it just very gently a thought came in. You need to do a podcast about New Year's resolutions being garbage, and an anchor being better. And I'm not just using the word anchor in replacement of resolution. Anchors stay with you forever. You become a different person as a result of going through a process. They're not like lose 25 pounds. That's a resolution, right? An anchor isn't even a goal. It's something that helps you to be more of you, to be more authentic. That is what my 2024 has been all about. No matter what was going on, no matter what the nouns were doing, the people, the places, and the things, everything was about what I was doing, what I needed. My cup being full, my overflow is what I gave to people, not the primary source, but the overflow. We're going to talk about that in 2025 so much. Y'all are going to have the lives you want right freaking now. I'm going to help you with that. Let me give you some stats about New Year's resolutions. Success rate is the first week. About 75% of people stay committed during the first week. Okay, so 25% of y'all fall off. By February, 64% are still going strong. About 6 months in, 46% of people are still on track. And by the end of the year, only 9 to 12% of y'all are still doing it. And those 9 to 12% probably would have been doing it anyway. They're probably regimented people. They've probably really understood and gotten the benefit of whatever they've decided. And they've probably done this a lot. So if you think about percentages, out of 100 people, only 9 to 12 get what they say they want. Sometimes we create too many or they're conflicting. I want to talk about the difference in an anchor. And I want to tell you what an anchor actually is. When I think about anchor, I think about a boat throwing that little thing out and it goes down in the water, okay? So, an anchor for a boat is a heavy object, typically made of metal, that is attached to the vessel by a chain or a rope. Its purpose is to secure the boat in a specific location by digging into the seabed, riverbed, or lake bed. The anchor prevents the boat from drifting due to wind, current, or waves. Do y'all understand? Do y'all understand the words coming out my mouth about an anchor versus a resolution? A resolution is all about how you need to change yourself, how there's something to fix. I'm not there, y'all. An anchor is helping me to stay steady, helping you to stay steady when you feel like you're drifting, when it's life is getting cray, when the waves are knocking you, the anchor. In our bodies, our anchors are our feet, they're our hips, they're our glutes, they're our legs. They anchor us, they keep us upright. So here's the other thing I wanted to tell you also about an anchor. Here's how it works. Deployment. The anchor is dropped overboard and sinks to the bottom. Holding. Once it reaches the bottom, the anchor's design allows it to grip. The flukes or the claws allows it to grip to that bottom, that surface, and the tension. The chain or rope creates tension that helps the anchor maintain its grip, keeping the boat in place. Now, I told you I was in the shower and I had an idea to do a whole nother podcast. I had planned that. And this voice said to me, no, you need to help them with how to feel, how to go into this new year, not fixing themselves, but supporting themselves like you did in 2024, like y'all have done before. This is not the first time you supported yourself. It's not the first time you've anchored yourself. But when we bring consciousness to something, then we can use it more readily for ourselves. Child, I hope I am not hurting y'all's eyes with this glow. Okay, so one of the things I want you all to think about, and you could borrow anything I say as one of your anchors. I'm going to share some of my anchors with you. And I do like the idea of writing it down. There's all this research when you write it down that the goal's more likely to come true. I don't like the word goal, that it's more likely to come true. That brain eye connection slows you down to be able to see that. One of the things you'll have to do to support yourself is to stop making everything such a big deal. I don't know if you know this, like the people who are, when the crisis happens, they're quieter, they're the leaders, they're making things happen. First responders get trained this way. They're not going into the emotion, they're more logical. You're going to have a certain amount of logic to stop making everything sway you. I'm going to link to her in the show notes of the podcast. There's this Instagram woman. Her name is Star. I don't remember her last name. She's got this lovely British accent. She's really beautiful, redhead bombshell. And she's the first person I ever heard these two words, emotional elegance. To me, emotional elegance is when the emotion comes up, I get to decide what I do with it, what container. I get to decide that it's not such a big deal. I get to decide that my ability to anchor myself, to be able to be in place, is more important than flying off the handle. I can still express myself. I can figure out what I want to say, or if there is anything to say. So I'm not sure this year if I'm going to use the term emotional elegance. It's attractive to me. I love the term emotional mastery, but that is such a huge part of what your anchors are doing. They're helping you to grow that emotional mastery, that emotional elegance, that ability to not feel literally and, swayed, to be able to be your own support. Okay. So I want to talk to you about what I am describing as an anchor so you can get rid of those New Year's resolutions, okay? An anchor is that steadying force, a point of stability that helps ground you during uncertain or chaotic times. Also, let me add in that anytime. I don't want you to have these anchors just for the chaos. I want you to be able to have it on your good days too, because your joy needs to have an anchor as well, right? So you can hold on to it to understand that joy is not just something that happens, okay? It's something that we really create with our decisions. And honestly, look, I'm on the spot thinking about this. Joy is actually a recognition. I think joy is always available. I think about when you're at a funeral and you're laughing. I had a dear buddy, Odell, and we were at his funeral. A car alarm went off, and we laughed like in the middle of that because that was so Odell to like, he was such a jokester for that car alarm to go off, right? So that idea that you can be anchored when things are not feeling great and when they are feeling great. It serves as a reminder of your core values. We're going to talk about that this year because I want to put more illumination on what matters to you and what you value. I've been doing that myself, and your intentions, and allows you to stay centered and focused no matter what arises, even if it is a challenge. I think of my anchors as a list of statements, but because, look, all of you are different. Some may think of your anchor as a word or a phrase that represents your focus for the years. Some of you may think of it as a practice or a ritual that keeps you connected to what really matters. Some might think of it as a visual reminder, a symbol that aligns with your values, or a goal or an intention. The way I'm going to talk about it is more of a list, okay? But if there's a picture, if there's a symbol, infinity symbol is something that matters to me, right? But I want you to take what I'm saying, put it through your processor, and figure out what works for you. Unlike resolutions, anchors are fluid, but don't bump because they go in the water, fluid. Okay, they aren't rigid. They're not focused on external outcomes. They're flexible. They're rooted. That's part of what is the problem with a resolution is it's very rigid. It has to go this way. But like, so what if your resolution was to lose 50 pounds and you lost 30? You would probably see yourself. Okay, hold on. Siri, stop. That's never happened. Siri started going in the middle of the podcast. Okay, back to what I was saying. If your resolutions are like, oh, yeah, I was saying, what if you try to lose 50 pounds, but you lose 30 pounds? Is that a failure? Hell no. It's not failure if you lose 5 pounds. But your resolution is 50 and you lose 30, you may think that, but an anchor is I want to feel good in my body. I want to feel stronger. I want to feel like food is not my only fun. Do you see? And the folks who think SMART goals get you there, there's a smarter way. The thing about an anchor is that it is measurable, not in the way a SMART goal is. It's measurable in how you feel. When I talk about emotional elegance, I'm not saying emotions don't have their place, they do. But Anchors are ways to make you feel steady, to feel connected, to feel joy, to feel confident, no matter what the outcome is. So I'm going to share right now a couple of mine. I ain't sharing all of them because you don't need to know all of mine, okay? But I'm going to share a couple of them. One of them mine is, and I did this in the shower when I decided to do this episode on the fly, support myself through anything I want. If I had recorded the two episodes I planned and hadn't recorded this, I think I would have felt disappointed. I love this on the fly creativity and making it happen. It took not a lot of time, but it's going to pay me back all day. Okay? Feeling positive. Oh, feeling positive, scared more. When I sat down to record, I had that little, I call it twingly, that feeling in my stomach of butterflies. Even though I've done this over 100 times, it matters to me. It's a positive scared. It's that thing where you're at a party and you see this cool person and you want to go up and have a conversation. And there's that moment where you're like, okay, go ahead and do it. That positive scared needs its own positive scared podcast. On the other end of everything you want is that positive scared feeling where you just went for it. And I'm going to do way more of that this year. This is a huge one. I had really decided that I was going to train for a 10K, that I was going to train for a half marathon, that I was going to do a 10 miler. And I was sitting here one day and I was like, do you really want to do that? And the answer was no. I'm not even sure if I want to continue running in the way I have. The thing about an anchor is sometimes it has a question attached to it, and you get to spend some time asking yourself. But here's what I know. Y'all know I love Burn Boot Camp. I'm going to hit 1,000 camps in 2025. And I'm going to be doing my best to make it there every day that I can. I wrote this down. Burn Boot Camp is exemplary and enough. No races for the foreseeable future. You see that? An anchor looks around for perfection, and when it finds it, I literally said to myself, why the hell do I want to run this race because I want to say I did it? That's not good enough for me. I went out and ran one day and I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. 2025 is going to be one of the busiest years of my life. And Burn Boot Camp's 45-minute workout is good enough. It's amazing. There's so much I can do within that I don't need to go running 3 days a week. I don't want to do that. So an anchor does ask yourself what you want to do and what you don't want to do. And you might be surprised. I was kind of surprised by that. I'm still going to be walking and wooding, aka hiking, but I need a reward built in. So there is these Conquerors Challenge medals. I am not linking to this because y'all, I'm funny about having y'all spend money. But if you hear it and you want to look up, but it's these walking challenges where you get medals. I'm going to buy myself a medal stand. And my brain needs that intrinsic feeling of like doing it from inside, but that extrinsic of holding that medal and looking at that medal and seeing what I did. And it doesn't have to come in a race. It can come from walking and what I'm calling wooding now, which is really hiking. Here's another big one. We hear a lot about love languages, and my love languages have been acts of service and words of affirmations in the past, but I'm going to be flipping it, changing my love language or experimenting. Anchors are experiments, right? With physical touch and quality time. I have been loving quality time in 2024. Most of my friendships have deepened in 2024. I have a couple of new friends that I'm loving, and I am loving it. And also because I don't want you all to think that I only live this charmed existence. I'm on a friendship pause with a friend. Here's what a friendship pause is. It totally deserves its own podcast. You know a way to anchor yourself? You know a way to have emotional elegance? When you and a friend have a moment to not think of it as catastrophic. I had a friendship with a person. She and I had a pretty big rupture, and I was flying out of the airport, and she was there. And it was the first time we really talked. I believe love is a revolving door. And you don't have to, but I do. And I believe if I love someone, that love always comes back around in some way. And this year, I've had several encounters with people where that has been the truth, where they've said things that I never knew they felt about me, where I've said things where it's just been that love. So a friendship pause means I'm not willing to throw the friendship away. I know Instagram and all the gurus tell you to let them go, let them this, let them that. But what's the problem with me saying this is a pause? The love is so strong, it's so present that it'll take care of itself, and that I'll know the right timing, she'll know the right timing, everything will be the right timing. That's an anchor. In 2025, I'm going to have my megaphone on. You're going to know more about what I'm doing. I'm going to tell you more about ways you can make your life beautiful. I have newsletters, blogs, emails, and social media campaigns that are going to help you be connected to yourself. I am working on this book. It is almost done. It's going to come out in February, February. One more. Have more fun in my life. I think in 2025, I want to take a DJ class. I want to do a volleyball clinic. I want to go see the lemurs. We have this amazing lemur center. I will link that. Um, I think I want to share one more. Oh, use what you already have, and you have everything. Be abundant in every single way. I want to give you a little bit more about your anchors for the new year. Choose a guiding word or phrase that reflects what you want to embody throughout the year, like balance, or growth, or peace. I do this every year and then I end up forgetting. So write it down, display it in a prominent place, and let it guide your decisions and your actions. So one year mine was unstoppable. One year I think mine was abundant, but usually I forget them. So write it down. Create a visual anchor. So this, y'all, I've been loving the tick of the talk. I've been loving TikTok, and I ain't gonna get banned, but I've been loving TikTok. And I have done tons of vision boards in my life. But what I'm gonna do this year is a vision bingo. Then I'm gonna go get it printed out, and I'm gonna have it somewhere where I can put a sticker when I do it. This was not an original idea. I saw this on TikTok. I'm gonna create it in Canva and get it printed. I'm not gonna do a vision board. It's gonna be a vision bingo, but you could design a vision board, a small altar, a digital wallpaper with images. I do often do an image on my phone that represents your values and your intentions. This visual reminder keeps you grounded in what truly matters when life feels overwhelming. You could also think about developing an anchor practice. This is committing to a simple daily or weekly ritual like journaling. I am thinking about doing a gratitude list, even if I don't write it down every day, like when I'm on my walk, coming up with 3 to 5 things. Remember, friends, you can scale back. I know I gave you a lot of anchors on my list, but you could just have 3 to 5. It doesn't have to be huge, okay? So, returning regularly to the practice helps you stay centered and aligned. And then you can create a mantra or affirmation, write a sentence that captures your anchor for the year, like I'm steady and focused on what matters. You can repeat it to yourself in challenging or joyful moments. You could say it before you go to bed. For this week's affirmation, I want it to be 2025 and beyond. It's going to be the best time of my life. 2025 and beyond is going to be the best time of my life. 2025 and beyond is going to be the best time of my life. Your glory years are not the past. You are happening every single day. Love it. All right. Y'all have a good one.
Are you feeling what you just heard? Good, good. Repeat after me. You don't have to figure it out on your own again anymore. I'm here to help. Head over to kimarrington.com and download my free video series dedicated to getting you feeling your best right now. Look around, there's some good stuff waiting on you. Got questions? Well, we're always talking on the socials, so find me on YouTube, Insta, and the book. Don't be shy, y'all. Go listen to another episode or join me here the same time next week. Finally, don't keep good shit to yourself. Share this with a homie that could use some help too. Remember, we're not lying to ourselves anymore. We're not lying to our doctors. And you damn sure don't lie to your life coach.